Hello, my name is Bianca Bruce, and I am a student for the Measurement and Evaluation course, HRD 5307 for spring 2017. I'm very excited to present my evaluation program report, and this is actually at my employer. So it's near and dear to my heart, and I love to uh, present what I've found through this course, the knowledge gained and transferred into this real life opportunity. The agenda that I will discuss today is introducing our company, or my company rather, the project background itself. And then once that has been set, then I'll go into the evaluation design, results, and then the discussions, recommendations, and further implications. I always like to start any type of meeting with something that's kind of an icebreaker activity or just something really fun. And this caption and picture just really kind of spoke to me when it comes to evaluation. So this gentleman's coming to HR and he says, we put up new curtains, we repainted the hallways, we even replaced the lights in the restrooms. So why are we still having retention problems? Well, I can tell you that not only is it because it's just the aesthetically pleasing things and not really anything that's intrinsically important or rewarding, but any type of evaluation or implementation was not properly evaluated and assessed. So jumping right into the company background. So I feel very fortunate because I work for the state of North Carolina. I have worked there about 10 months now, and I came from the private sector. So private to public is very different, and there are some challenges that are presented, but yet a lot of opportunities to get some rewards out of just seeing the effects of what your work has on others' lives. So a few fun facts about the state. North Carolina is the 9th largest state in population. We are also the 6th most visited state in the country. This is huge because with 9.9 million citizens that are continuously growing, we need to be able to best represent our citizens. And this is particularly important because I work in the Department of Health and Human Services. We have 17,000 employees, 200 of which are human resources staff. And what we do is we manage all of the health and human services related functions within the state. So that includes things like the WIC program, the food stamps, social services like child welfare, adoption, foster care. It can even go to things like deaf and blind services. So there's a whole gamut of what we are responsible for, and therefore creates a greater need for program evaluation. So the project, although I know this slide that I'm showing you now is lengthy, it's really because there's a lot going on. About 8 months ago, a group of senior HR leaders came together and said, we are lacking a program that truly helps incoming HR professionals adjust and acclimate to their roles. So HR Boot Camp is deemed as an orientation that is for newly hired HR professionals. And of our 200 HR staff, we have about 15 new incoming HR staff in a year. This program introduces staff to the agency and or state government in general. Again, I came from private sector, so it was a very big adjustment for me, as well as it'll outline the expectations of the role of an HR professional. The HR Boot Camp focuses on policy, procedures, and regulations. It also provides resources like online tools, checklists, and meetings with key staff within the first 90 days of employment. The ultimate goal of the HR Boot Camp is to promote practices that are going to be consistent. This is across all HR staff around the entire state of North Carolina. By doing this, it better serves our population and allows for the HR staff to gain a sense of community with other HR professionals. The stakeholders for this program are all of the new hire HR staff. However, current HR staff, as well as our customers, which are employees of the state, and their customers, which is citizens, are either directly or indirectly beneficiaries of the outcomes that the HR Bootcamp provides. And lastly, the audiences of the program, of the evaluation is the current HR staff, and most directly is the supervisor of the HR staff and the boot camp committee members. So HR boot camp right now consists of about 8 members who are, now that we are in the implementation phase, which started or launched in January 2017, will be conducting the evaluation portion, which I've been able to lead those efforts through the knowledge that I've gained in this course. So the evaluation design. The overarching theme is Kirkpatrick's evaluation model, which is the level 2 model. The data instruments or design instruments include a supervisor questionnaire and employee questionnaire. Because this program is in its infancy of implementation, it really had a need to focus on the level 2 learning. So the instruments used are pretty simple in nature. The employee questionnaire will assess the employee's knowledge gained from the HR Bootcamp orientation, and the supervisor questionnaire will assess the employee's level of learning from their perspective, as well as offer feedback to what's working and not working with the HR Bootcamp. The data collection is purposeful sampling. So because we have such a small population of, or I should say it's more targeted individuals for the sampling, it is purposeful. I mean, we're going to have 15, give or take, in a year. So, and it is only involving HR staff only within the Department of Health and Human Services within the state of North Carolina. The method used is summative evaluation. More specifically, the summative evaluation has archived data that will be used. Right now we don't have that, but we're utilizing SurveyMonkey, which will house that data and be able to use that in the future. And the variables of success, or really why this program is implemented, will be evident through the performance management evaluations for these incoming HR staff. The hope is that they will have higher ratings. There will be fewer error rates in the job, and then the feedback from the questionnaires will be positive. So the results. The program right now is too new for comparison data. So as of now, the program that was launched, we've had 1 HR new hire. So there's been 1 manager survey administered and 1 employee survey administered. However, the results from those in a sample survey is found on the left of the screen, indicates that learning has indeed occurred. And just again, noting that SurveyMonkey will archive that data so that further data analysis can be done and better provide feedback for what's working and not working with the HR Bootcamp. And I do want to take a step back before I discuss the recommendations and implications. The reason that the HR Bootcamp took place is because there are annual surveys that are given out to all employees, and the HR staff overwhelmingly had shared that they wanted something, and they didn't know in what form, just something that would help new hire HR staff. So that's where we got to where we are today. I'm very proud to say that I have led these efforts, and though there is more work to do, realistically, the primary discussion is that evaluation needs to be the culture in an HR office. Really, it should be on everyone's mind, but I believe HR should be the pioneers for evaluation. Richard Swanson, a scholar used in this project, he did note that evaluation needs to be a state of mind. So continuous improvement, that feedback loop, things that you find in Six Sigma or other lean type processes. This really falls right in line with that. The recommendations are to present the findings to the executive team for next steps. So this is not HR executive team. This is actually the executive team within the Department of Health and Human Services, which is the secretaries at the highest level, and then the secretaries team, which are the deputy secretaries. Another recommendation is to move to Kirkpatrick's level 3 in the evaluation model, which is more of the knowledge transfer. Because this program is in infancy, the level 2 seem more appropriate. However, in the future, level 3 may be something to further examine with the HR bootcamp. And then implications. So increased performance, fewer error rates, and increased retention are really among the goals in the top 3 implications that we have found and believe will continue to progress with the HR bootcamp. However, an indirect benefit is better care for our client, employees, and the citizens of North Carolina. And lastly, as authors Russ Eft and Preschool noted in the course text, really 3 indicators in an evaluation should be the cost savings, the quality, and the time savings. So cost savings are just simply the lack of rework or duplication of work needed because of the program providing the necessary tools and resources to get it done the first time around and correctly the first time around. The time savings, again, if you know where your resources are and where to go, then that's going to save you time. And then quality, by default, because there will be consistency across all HR representatives and that increased communication flow due to the HR bootcamp, this will, by default, increase quality. So lastly, I want to present this time to answer any questions and again say thank you so much for the opportunity. By going through this course, I have learned how to conduct an evaluation program and report and have actually utilized this in my workplace. This is step 1, and by talking to more members of the senior HR team, I will be able to use this in other processes as well. Again, I appreciate your time and look forward to what's next.